Welcome to Kelly's Creative Dream Studios on a very wet and cold October day in the Ozarks. I have to apologize first because I started working on this card and then realized that, oh no, I forgot to set the video. So I'm going to walk you through where I am to this point and then we will finish the card together. This is Card Chicks Tuesday. So our card chick kit came from Sue Brandon. And she's, ladies, I challenge you to make a card using this layout. Designer paper is from Paper Studio. Pumpkins and ribbons from Hobby Lobby. Sequins from my stash. Use your own stamps and sentiments. I hope you have fun. So, this was the paper. And this one. And there's a longer length of this green ribbon. And these pumpkins. And these little pumpkins and sequins. Now, aren't those cute? Well, today, Monday, as I'm filming this, is National Pumpkin Day. So I thought, what better way to celebrate than to make a cup of pumpkin latte on this. So I'm going to set the pumpkins aside for a minute and show you where I'm at. I started with this piece of paper that she sent. Cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4 so it would fit on the front of a early espresso cardstock base. I thought about using the pumpkin. I don't know. Maybe I do like the pumpkin. I think I like, let's go with the pumpkin. I mean, after all, it is pumpkin, right? And I've been stamping everything in early espresso. I am using the Mary Cafe Stamp and Die set from Stampin'Up, and it is retired, and I have die cut the cup and the lid from Very Vanilla cardstock, and I have stamped off Hello Fall, It's Pumpkin Spice Latte Season onto a piece of the paper. Didn't like that. Get to my die here. Because I wanted to do the cup sleeve. So I cut that out of that burlap looking paper. Didn't like that on there, so what I did was I stamped it onto a piece of Very Vanilla. And because this was a really basic shape, it was really easy to trim down. The only curved edge I had was on the bottom. And I'm going to dust that, just the edge, with the early espresso. And I'm going to glue it on top of that one. As soon as I clean the tip of my glue off. Didn't clean my supplies off good last night after I'd finished the baby album. And so I'm going to fight getting glue out, apparently. I know there's glue left in that bottle, though I'm sure probably not a lot. Let me put a pin to the opening and see if that helps. Last night that's what I did and glue come right out. So there we go. Okay. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of this and center it on that piece of burlap. And it's just enough that it covers up where I had tried stamping before, and we're good. Okay. Now that we have that in place, let's go ahead, and since I've decided to do this, let's go ahead and glue this into place on our card base. See, this was a good reason I hadn't started filming this yet, because if I had, I'd have probably done it on the early espresso and not thought about the pumpkin pie. And we'll see how this looks. Okay, now I had this vision in my head, so bear with me here. This sleeve needs to go on here, but I want to pop it up just a little bit, so I'm going to come over here to my adhesives pile, and I've got some pieces of adhesive here. So let's do this, and I'm just using lengths of my edge here that are not necessarily dimensionals, but they will serve the purpose. Use all of our scraps, doesn't matter what we're doing, use our scraps. peel that out of the way. And peel this out of the way. Now, there is a caveat to this. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run a bead of glue right on here. I don't want to glue it down all the way down to the paper yet because, get our lid straight here. If you'll notice in the sketch, this cup needs to go on a square matted square. So we're going to do that with another piece of this burlap. And I don't see there's anything else I can mat it with unless I do it. May mat it with that brown, we'll see. Or the Cajun Craze. Let's trim this off to an even space. I'm going to trim it off to, let's see, the cup is, using my trimmer over here, the cup is just under 3 inches. So let's make this mat 3.5, and if we have to trim it down again, we can. And the cup, I didn't let that dry before I tried picking it up. Silly me. Okay, and the cup itself is a little over 2, so let's take this down to 2 1/4. And that should give us plenty. I'm going to go 2.5. We can always trim it off, but we can't put it back. See how we like it. See, that'll look pretty right on there. I think I like that. Now initially I was going to run this down, but I think it's too much. I think we're just going to run the green down, in which case I'm going to want a longer piece to come down off of there and let that sit there. But do we need something else behind that? I think we do. Let's look at another piece of pumpkin pie. Normally, I'm stuck here in my scrap pile. Normally we can't use anything else from our kit, but I think this month is an exception because we really need another color under there, and we did that one at 2.5 by 3.5. I'm going to make this very bare. 3.5, 3 5/8, I think, by 2 5/8. I think should do it. Give us just a whisper of the orange under there, just enough to let that mat stand out. Actually, I think it might have gone just a hair too small. Well, maybe not. We'll see. And then this is going to sit right on there. Now, I could have done this the other way. Let's see what happens if we do that. Okay, so let's take this one down to 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. My good paper trimmer is over on the table, so I'm fighting getting this one up. And then this one would be 2.5 by 3.5, and we'll mat this one like that. And does that give us enough to put the cup on here? It does! Woohoo! Okay, so we need to put our ribbon down. And we need it to go, let's make this edge a little straighter here. And you know, I think I'm going to get out, I think I'm going to get my Xyron machine out and run it through here. Because, you know, my double-sided tape is over on the big work table. That's okay, this works. Okay, we'll run this off the edge of the table, and before I take that off of there, I am going to have extra room, so let's peel our top off, get it out of the way, and I've got I don't think these are my non-sticky scissors. I think they're out on the other table. So I'm going to trim this off right here on the edge. And then I'm going to lay this on the edge and note right where that has to come off. And it's supposed to come up just a little bit, so I'm going to go right there. That should do it. And we'll peel our sticky off. Let's burnish that a little bit more and make sure it's ingrained into that burlap ribbon. That should work. Okay. Right there. Now the only thing I'm seeing with this burlap ribbon is I think it may be hard to put those sequins across the edge, but I have a plan. I have a plan. Kinda. I'm just adding my glue to my card base. If it seems like I'm at an odd angle, I am standing up. I had to shove the stool out of the way to do my rearrange my camera from last night's video. Take it down a little closer. And I just didn't bother to push it back. I just decided I'd just stand up for this video. The one that almost wasn't. And then that would sit right there. But I think I want to bring it, oh, I don't know. That's pretty good on that. See, this is how we talk through or talk to ourselves when we're doing cards. Do I like that? Do I don't like that? Will it work? It's like crafting along with friends when we hop on here. And I'm going to raise that right there. Speaking of friends, this card is going to go to a very special friend. And if she thinks she knows who she is, I would like her to leave that in the comments below. Now we're supposed to put the 3 sequins across here. And we're going to. But I never trust the adhesive on sequins. So I'm going to see if I've got anything coming out of this bottle of Crystal Effects. Seems like everything I touch is sticky here lately. And not in a good way. Okay, we have Crystal Effects, especially with it going on this burlap. I want to make sure they're going to stick. And so I'm going to take, right now most of my tools are on the other side of the room. So I'm going to use my tweezers and I'm going to pull these off. I'm going to try to pull them off. You know, when you're tired, things just don't work the way you think they should. There we go. It's trying to remember to close. Trying to remember to close these tweezers. Oh, come on. There we go. This was not going to let go. And that pin's all sticky, so let's get another pin here and see if maybe doing this with the pin will work easier. Maybe, maybe not. Because they've got an adhesive on the back. I just don't trust them to hold for the long term. And I don't like my cards to come apart when I send them to somebody. That's just not nice. So there's our 3rd sequin. Right there. It's got to adhere to the glue before it adheres to the card. And then I'm going to take this bigger sticker. And it's kind of a puffy sticker. And I'm going to adhere it right down here in the corner. And I think this little one will sit right next to it, just like that. And there is our Card Chicks card for the month of October. Tomorrow, I wasn't going to do a video tomorrow, I'm still not sure I'm going to, but I've got a couple of things running through my head, so don't be surprised if a video pops up. And I will see, if not, I will see you back here on Thursday for Design Team Thursday. One of two things is going to happen. Either it will be a fall card of some type using Dear Julie's Thankful Kit, or it will be a Christmas card using her, or we'll revert back to the Roses kit. So if we're not here tomorrow, make sure you come back on Thursday to see what we've come up with. In the meantime, please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Creative blessings.